The rain hammered against the windshield of the '78 Cadillac Eldorado, making the neon reflections smear across the slick asphalt of downtown Chicago. Leo kept his hands tight on the wheel, the leather cracked and smelling faintly of stale smoke and anxiety. 47 years old, 10 of them spent driving for the organization, and tonight was supposed to be the curtain call. A suitcase full of cash, a one-way ticket to a small dusty town in Arizona, and a new name. He'd earned it. He told himself he had. The package sat on the passenger seat, a black scuffed aluminum briefcase heavy with what felt like 100 pounds of paper, though Leo knew it was just 5 kilos of uncut Bolivian flake, his final delivery. He glanced at the digital clock on the dash, 2:17 a.m., 3 minutes until the meet on Pier 4. This part of the Docklands was always dead, smelling of salt and decay, perfect for exchanges that didn't want witnesses. He pulled the car into the designated empty lot, the tires crunching on broken glass and gravel. The headlights cut through the fog rolling in off the lake. He killed the engine. Silence rushed in, heavy and absolute, broken only by the drip of rain from the rusted corrugated iron roof of a nearby warehouse. Leo reached under the seat, his fingers finding the familiar cold steel of the .38 snub nose. He checked the chamber, tucked the gun into the waistband of his trousers, and took a deep, shuddering breath. One last time, a black Mercedes S-Class, new money, not the organization style, slid into the lot 15 feet away. It wasn't the usual crew. Leo's gut twisted. The buyer, Velez, was supposed to show up in a beat-up van, keep it low-key. This was loud, too loud. A tall figure, impeccably dressed in a charcoal overcoat, emerged from the passenger side, followed by 2 hulking shadows. No Velez, just the cleanup crew. The man in the coat, sharp-faced with eyes that never blinked, walked slowly towards Leo's car, the sound of his Italian leather shoes clicking unnaturally loud in the silence. Leo lowered his window just enough to talk through the gap. "You're not Velez." The man smiled, a thin, meaningless movement of the lips. "He sends his regards. A sudden change of plans, Leo. It happens." His voice was smooth, East Coast, like polished stone. "The package. Let's finish this up." Leo tightened his grip on the briefcase handle. "The rules are the rules. I deal with Velez, or the package stays here. I get the money, then I hand over the goods." He was bluffing. He hadn't seen the money truck. The sharp-faced man chuckled, a dry sound that grated on Leo's nerves. "You think you're in a position to negotiate, old man? We know this is your last delivery. We know everything." He gestured slightly, and one of the shadows, a man built like a refrigerator, moved to block the driver's side door. "The arrangement has changed. This delivery is non-refundable. Hand it over and maybe you still get that ticket to Arizona." The threat hung heavy in the damp air. Leo knew what non-refundable meant when the organization used it. He was a loose end, a driver who knew too much, now trying to retire. They hadn't sent a buyer, they'd sent an assassin. He looked down at the briefcase, 5 kilos, worth millions to them, worth his life to him. If he handed it over, he'd be shot the moment he reached for the door handle. If he refused, he'd be shot right here. Leo's mind raced, fueled by 10 years of paranoia. He had one small window. "Fine," Leo sighed, sounding defeated. He reached toward the passenger seat, his right hand disappearing momentarily below the dash as if to retrieve the case. The sharp-faced man leaned in slightly, his eyes fixed on the briefcase. Instead of the case, Leo's hand reappeared, clutching the .38. He didn't waste time aiming. He squeezed the trigger twice, the roar deafening in the enclosed space. The first bullet took the sharp-faced man high in the shoulder, the second slightly lower, shattering the car window behind him with a spray of safety glass. The assassin stumbled back with a gurgling sound of shock, clutching his wound. The 2 shadows reacted instantly, reaching inside their coats. Leo threw his car door open, slamming it into the man blocking his exit, knocking the breath out of him, and scrambled out using the Cadillac as cover. He didn't run for the gate. he ran for the warehouse. He was too old to run, but adrenaline lent him a momentary, desperate speed. He heard the muffled reports of automatic weapons behind him, tearing into the classic car's bodywork. He dove behind a stack of empty wooden pallets, the splintered wood offering flimsy protection. This is it, Arizona. He looked down at the briefcase still clutched in his hand. He hadn't left it behind. That was his one mistake. The men were moving, fanning out, shadows dissolving into the warehouse's deep gloom. Leo fumbled with the clasp of the briefcase, not to hand it over, but to prove a point. When the lid popped open, it revealed not 5 kilos of cocaine, but a layer of old newsprint cut into neat bricks, carefully weighted with sand. The real package had been left in a locker at Union Station 6 hours ago, a contingency plan for a driver who never truly trusted his employers. Leo gave a weak, tired smile just as the heavy footfalls reached the end of the pallet row, and the first shadow stepped into his line of sight, the muzzle flash blinding him. The last delivery wasn't the cocaine, it was Leo himself, but at least they got the decoy.